Oh my word. Wow. I felt like I've just played that 95 minutes. My heart definitely feels like it's just played those 95 minutes of football out on that pitch. As you can probably see, if you're watching the video, if you're watching this live or afterwards, I don't really know how to feel right now. I'm smiling. Hurt, proud, everything is the emotions. It's all over the place. Mixed emotions for sure. It's hard to really pinpoint. The overriding emotion that I'm feeling is disappointment. It is disappointment, given the situation of the game and the position we put ourselves into. But then I'm also proud and how we dug in. We fought. We had luck. We definitely had luck on our side. Also, I thought we was. Do you know what? This is where it's a bit indifferent because we had luck, but we also were unlucky at the same time. There's so much to feel right now, but I hope you're keeping good, people. Arsenal two away. Arsenal draw 2-2 away from home at Anfield. It's a point. It's a point at the end of the day. But it's points dropped given the position that we were in, but it's points gained given what happened in that second 45 minutes. And really, after the first 35 minutes of the game from then onwards. But yeah, we'll get into it, people. I hope you're all keeping well. 2-2 draw. Those of you that watched it, let me know your thoughts in the chat. I'm going to give my match reaction on this, and then afterwards, I will open the line. So this might be a while. This might be a longish stream, but what a game we just saw. If you're a neutral, and is there any such thing as a neutral in football? Because if whoever you support, you'll always find someone that you'll want to win. Man United fans, they don't want to see Liverpool win. This is probably the perfect result for them, and it's definitely the perfect, not perfect result, but a good result for Manchester City. The title race is in Manchester City's hands. I was hearing a lot of that. It's true, but it's also in Arsenal's hands as well, of course. But we'll break it down. Arsenal took that lead, Gabriel Martinelli. That overall, the first 35 minutes of the game, Arsenal were sensational. Out of the blocks, controlled the game, dominated it in that first period, leading 2-0. Could have been more, creating more chances. Liverpool couldn't get out. They couldn't work out how to get past our press. We were managing the crowd well. They were getting frustrated at Anfield. Even though I thought at the time I was going crazy at the referee giving every 50-50 to Liverpool, there was one occasion where I thought, we got away with it, where there was a foul on Jota. But overall, I was like, we're handling it, absolutely everything here. We're managing to keep this Liverpool crowd quiet. We're in the lead. We're creating chances. Martinelli is roasting Trent Alexander-Arnold with just straight balls down the line. I'm really loving it. I'm in dreamland. But then, of course, in that second half, and not even everyone's talking about the incident that happened. What minute did it happen in? In the 41st minute between Granit Xhaka and Trent Alexander-Arnold, where that kind of sparked the crowd into life, gave us deja vu of what happened on the 20th of November last year in 2022. But for me, I thought poor refereeing once again in that situation. Xhaka gets kicked twice in the back by Konate. It's a foul. Referee says no foul. And that's not the only time. There was so many occasions. Paul Tierney showed his inept, once again, these referees, these disgustingly bad, poor referees can't understand a game. They can't even control it. And these linesmen can't even control their elbows at the same time. But I thought it was disgusting. And away from home, you need it. With Liverpool, they can't. I don't want to hear nothing about the ref. I don't want to hear nothing. Maybe we go look the little elbow, where Robertson grabs his arm and he tries to get it away and he catches him on the chin, of course. But Robertson, disgusting. Like he's rattled me. So, but nah, guys, that first 40 minutes, it was sensational. I'm not forgetting that, and I'm taking that on and taking it forward. But what followed after that, in 50 minutes, the next 50, we rode the storm for the first bit of it, and then Liverpool. To be honest, I'm disappointed that we was leading. It was 2-1 at halftime. It should have been 2-0 and maybe even more, but we fell asleep in one moment, and this is what happens. This is Liverpool at the end of the day. With the attackers that they've got, why I thought there was going to be goals. Always said there was going to be goals. If anyone watched the preview show, any show that I've been on, I said there was going to be goals in this, and I'm guaranteed minimum 3 goals. Ended up being 4. I was right on that. I didn't get my prediction for the Arsenal 3-2. Could have went 3-2 either way. If you have a look at it, Liverpool had more of the chances to take the lead towards the end, but one man I have to talk about before we get into the comments. One man. Now, each and every one of you that aren't Arsenal fans, each and every one of you that talk, Ramsdale, yeah, he's good, but now you see what Arsenal fans have seen. Now you see it in the big moments. This isn't the first time Aaron Ramsdale has done this. This isn't the first time Aaron Ramsdale has saved us points. If you are going to win a league title, if you are going to be champions, you need your goalkeeper to step up in these big moments. People put respect on Aaron Ramsdale's name for right now. Don't want to ever hear it again. When Arsenal, we say, maybe he's a bit overrated. Ramsdale. Have a look at that. Have a look at those saves. That save from Salah is, I can't remember, David Seaman, I cannot remember a better save than that. And Ramsdale was making save upon save in this game. Now, and this isn't the first time. If you're an Arsenal fan, you know it. You know Aston Villa away. You know Bournemouth at home. You know even Crystal Palace, where he tips it onto the post, which keeps us, 0-0 at that point. Leeds, we've seen it numerous times. They're just off the top of the dome right now. Aaron Ramsdale, sensational. Sensational. Should be England's number 1. Pickford's not a bad player, and I'm someone who respects Jordan Pickford. A lot of people disrespect him, but this is why Aaron Ramsdale is one of the best goalkeepers in the league. And people thought Arsenal fans were getting giddy when we're talking about him with the likes of Alisson and Ederson. Now you're seeing it, people. I was in a Liverpool stream yesterday. I was saying, and I got asked, would you take Alisson or would you take Alisson over Ramsdale? Says, yeah, if it's a cup final tomorrow, yeah, because of what he's done and the experience he's got and the level he's at now. But trust me, 5 years' time, ask me that question, might be different. Aaron Ramsdale, 24 years of age? And this is a goalkeeper pulling out stop after stop like that away at Anfield. Big cojones that brother's got right there. Fantastic. And that's why I wanted to speak on him. And that's kind of lifted me up a little bit. As I felt, I've gone through a roller coaster of emotions during that 90 minutes, and I've already gotten it through 7 minutes, 45 seconds into this stream. Big up each and every one of you in the place right now. Paxton in here. That was 2 points dropped. It's a shame because Liverpool was for the taking, but they got control of the game with the fouling, and both teams feel that they could have won the game and should have. Yep, 2 points dropped, definitely from being 2-0 up. And 2-0 up, it definitely feels like points dropped. I'm not going to lie. That's where the disappointment comes from. I thought we defended excellently until Firmino scored. And when Firmino scored, that's when the onslaught came. It was, the penalty, soft, but we had a soft penalty, not just last week, but against Liverpool as well in that sense. But I think that's even worse. For me, it's not a penalty. For me, it's not, because Holding doesn't even kick. He doesn't even kick. Jota gets himself in front of him. He buys it, but he doesn't even make an action to go towards the ball with his foot. He just gets in front, and I think he missed the penalty in the end, so it don't really matter too much. But yeah, Ramsdale, that's the man of the match. And I want to, if anyone's got anything to say about Ramsdale, oh boy, it's gonna be a long day for you, because he's done this multiple times, and Arsenal wouldn't be the position they're in without Aaron Ramsdale. We've got other players that we've talked about, and we've got other players that have been shining and being shining lights, of course. But Aaron Ramsdale is the reason where we are at right now, and has a massive part to play. Not the only reason, but it's a massive reason why we are there. One criticism of Mikel Arteta, looking at it in the game, man, it's those substitutions. Taking off Odegaard and Jesus. I understand the Jesus one. I do, in a way. I wouldn't have done it personally. And if we're talking it based on performance, and I said the same thing for away at on performance for Man United away when they were away at Newcastle last week. Rashford was the one who was poor. Saka wasn't great today. He wasn't bad. He wasn't as poor as what Rashford was against Newcastle. He still had an impact, and you saw it at the end of the game. And this is where, once again, it feels like 2 points dropped, because after that tremendous save, after the Konate incident where Konate should have scored, Martinelli waits that pass better. We go on the other end, and he's 1v1 with Alisson. Oh, brilliant goalkeeping from Alisson, by the way, to come off of his line and really make it difficult. The pass wasn't as easy as what people may look at, because he has to play it right with the perfect weight of pass. Really, ideally, you'd want Trossard to be on the ball there, and then Martinelli making the run on the outside on the left. But you can't criticise Martinelli. He was fantastic all afternoon, causing so many problems to Konate, to Trent, and all of the talk about Trent Alexander-Arnold defensively, poor. Yep, was poor, but Konate wasn't doing anything better on that side. Let's be honest. In the first half, in the second half, he was monstrous. He was making tackles, and I saw Ben White get a yellow card for something similar, and that infuriated me at the time. And I didn't think that was a foul. Didn't think Konate's was either. But where's the consistency from the referees once again in this Premier League? But we'll be here all night talking about the referees. But yeah, 2-2 is a fair, I'd say, result on the game, and on the basis, given Arsenal were at Anfield, how we were expected to defend. I knew there was going to be moments of suffering. I didn't think it'd be that long. I didn't think we'd have that long in the second half. I thought it'd be a 20-minute period, 15, 20 minutes, but it was literally probably about 30 or 30, 35 minutes, maybe even 45, some people will say. But yeah, it's hard to feel. It's hard to know how I feel. But yeah, Pack says 2 joints dropped. Good afternoon, Amy. Hope you're keeping good. Should have been a penalty holding Salah. Nah, not for me. I don't think that was a penalty. In the end, they already had a soft one. You can't give them another one. King in the place, my brother, says 1 point gain. If you can't win, don't lose. To West Ham, 8 games left, 6 points ahead. I take it. Just need to make sure we don't lose to City. You know what? That's it, man. That City game away from home at the Etihad against a side that have been here, done it many times. They're the favourites. They are the favourites. And this is why when people are saying, oh, Arsenal must win the Premier League, Arsenal must do this, they're in the driver's seat, you're talking out of your backside when you say that, because we've just gone to Anfield, got a point, and now we've gotten to Anfield, got a point. How many teams have done that this season? Well, quite a few actually, but yeah, not many teams have won. Only Leeds and Real Madrid have won at Anfield this season, and we've managed to get a point. And now the title is in City's control just as much as it is in ours. It is, by the way, in our control as well. But if City win all of their games from now to the end of the season, they win the Premier League, no matter what Arsenal do. So it's not a bottle, and this is why this title race, it is one for the ages. And I feel like we've seen that for a few seasons, to be honest, with Liverpool and Man City going neck and neck throughout it. They are relentless. They're going to be a problem, but I'm hoping that they will drop points, and I will continue to watch their games, hoping to watch points being dropped, hopefully. Don't think they'll drop many, but I think they will. But I can also see Arsenal dropping points as well. If we perform like we did in the second half against City, yeah, it'll be a long day. It won't be great. But if we perform like we did in the first half, in the first 30, 40 minutes, we'll cause City problems as well. I don't think we'll score or create as easily as we did against Liverpool today. But I thought we were scintillating in that first period, and how we was playing the ball through presses, getting it down. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at. The hindsight is a wonderful thing, right? But Arteta, why Ødegaard? Why take off Ødegaard? Why Jesus? They were having stormers. I think Jesus in particular, and Ødegaard was having a real impact. But yeah, as King says, well, look, this game at the end of the season, there'll be others. I'm sure there'll be others where we'll talk about. But if Arsenal don't win the league, you'll be looking at this game and thinking they couldn't get over the line. Needed that little bit of luck as well. And yeah, you needed to manage that second half better and try your best and take the sting out of the game. We couldn't quite do that. But then the other hand, if Arsenal go on to win the Premier League, you'll be looking at this game and saying, Aaron Ramsdale, this is where you really deserved your plaudits and you get that in your medal. I know he's doing it multiple times, but this is where the neutrals and the casuals will look at that and say, yeah, Aaron Ramsdale, what a player, what a goalkeeper, and what a goalkeeper we have for the future for many, many years to come. Vibes in the place. I wonder if anyone will call Martinelli out for diving like Kane. Tariq agreed with Kane, so he's fine. I'm trying to what Martinelli dive? Which one? Which one was this? But nah, it happens all the time. You know what my thoughts on it. But remind me. I'm trying to think. That chance at the end could have ended the title race. Martinelli should have done better. Absolutely agree. Vibes. Overall, he was good. But he's got to wait. I was talking to my sister. In hindsight, of course, once again, I'm in an armchair, so it's easy for me to say, but he's got to either carry on running through the heart so he has options left and right, or play it way earlier. The time he played it had very little margin for error in that pass. Had to be a perfect way, and he couldn't execute it in the end for Saka. But yeah, man, once again, that could have been literally, more pie. I mean, not more pie. Hog Dini. You know them ones after Knockout not missed it. A point is a point. Foul as Pac said, Liverpool at a point at Anfield in the first half. They were done, but that Anfield crowd dragged them into it. Agree. Big up everyone in the chat. I'm getting over Trent skinning Zinchenko. Hey, a little word on Trent. I'm not going to praise him too much, but defensively, poor, but this is why he plays every week, and this is why he's has won so many trophies that he has done. Tremendous player in the attack. Zinchenko got done. He played it through. He could have played it through a mermaid's legs there. I thought Zinchenko was defensively quite good throughout that, and overall not too bad in the game. And then Trent done him dirty there. So. But that's Trent, world-class ability. No one can question that going forward. If you ever question Trent going forward, then you need your head checking. But that's what he can do. He can pull one out of that like that. Big up yourself, Red Devil Yannick. Did you see what the ref did to Andy Robertson? I don't think it's... I think Roy Keane said it perfectly. I think what Robertson's done, he's grabbed the referee's arm. And do you know when someone's grabs your arm like that and you've got that move? But as he's done that, he's caught him in a chin. He's not purposely elbowed him. Andy Robertson's a little wind-up merchant anyway, and the amount of times he got away with it, where we went through the back and then he pulls out the yellow card like he's got no, he's got to. Oh, I can't even get the analogies out. but how many times Robertson was booting Saka in the back and stuff, and got away with it? No yellow card. Yeah. Disgusting. Wonderful game of football. Tremendous for you neutrals. Hated every minute of it. Now I want Liverpool to lose every game. Draw ain't good enough, says Pax. Should have been a penalty kick. Not for me at the end of stoppage time. Does anyone else agree with Amy? I don't think it is. I don't think it should have been a penalty. Big up Mr. 200 in the place. That was a point, a good point for me. Liverpool only conceded 9 at home. Trossard scored 3 of them. So to go 2 goals ahead is massive. Yeah, I hear you. But I also feel like it's disappointing to be 2-0 up. And after what we saw in that first half, I expected a resurgence from Liverpool in the second. I expected that. But I thought we could have managed the game better in certain scenarios. And I think when I'm looking at Arteta, to take off Ødegaard and Jesus, I think that sets the mentality from there, that Liverpool are just going to come and Kivior for his first Premier League game, his Premier League debut away at Anfield. I know he didn't do anything. The first action he did was he got done by Firmino, and then Darwin Núñez should have scored. But what I say from Ramsdale, another one from Ramsdale. But I don't like how that happened. I don't like it. I didn't at the time. It felt risky, but if we'd have got the 3 points, I wouldn't have cared. Would not have cared. I'll be honest, if we'd have got the 3 points. But now, because we didn't grab all 3, yeah, it took a little bit away. And because Liverpool went straight forward attack then, and I was like, nice. Saw Trossard coming on. If you do a straight swap with Jesus, I can understand that. Fresh legs, fresh energy. But then to take a midfielder out and put a defender in, I understand what he's doing, but I don't know, man. I don't know. I feel like the occasion got to him then. I felt like the occasion and how Liverpool were playing, and I wanted us to carry on. I wanted us to try, and then if we nick a third goal, if we nick one on the counter, that's when it's done and dusted. Tie at the end, fire that linesman, says Amy. Thoughts on Arsenal's thoughts on Arsenal's gamesmanship. Felt like you spent an awful long time on the deck. I get the tactic, but it seemed to rile the Anfield crowd. I thought we managed in the first half. We did it perfectly. Every time Liverpool had a couple of moments where they tried, like they had some good attacks when they played through of our press, and then we took our time. And I think the Anfield crowd were always going to get riled up anyway. And they were getting riled up at their own team. I can remember listening to that in the first half, like getting frustrated, and it brought them up. And then when that incident happened with Xhaka and Trent, that brought them up even more. And then the goal comes straight after that. That's when they were on fire. And Anfield going down in that scenario. If it was a goal to equalise, I don't think it riles them up as much, but because they're on course for a comeback and have one of those great games, one of those great memories at Anfield, it helped them a lot. Agree with you there, though, Amy. Ramsdale, man of the match, and Mr. 200, Ramsdale's top class. Big up my brother Ends each and every time. Hope you're keeping well, man. Hope you're keeping good. 2-2 is what it is, man. Taking off Erdegaard was terrible. Yeah, I don't agree with that. Now City is only 6 points away from Arsenal with a game in hand and with us still to play them. So yeah, Liverpool, the better team, should have won. I was actually shocked at how bad Arsenal was. I think that's a harsh take. Liverpool, I don't think you were better than us in the first half at all, to be honest. But in the second half, yeah, you had plenty of chances to win the game in the second. And Anfield, man, Anfield in them situations. Arsenal don't have a great record there. Still I think that's where the young team showed they were quite young, not managing that second half as good as they should have. I will say that, but we still have threats on you in the second half. Let's not forget when Saka completely twisted up Konate and then Trent Alexander-Arnold. Let's not forget that. And then when, as Vibe said earlier, one pass from Martinelli and Arsenal winning 3-2 and running away with it. And City with a game in hand. City favourites now for the title, 6 points behind Arsenal. Arsenal got tricky games coming up. Yep, we still got to go away to the Etihad. We still got to go away to Newcastle. City, I think, to the neutral will be a lot of people's favourites right now. But I don't mind that. I'll continue being the underdog. I'll take that. We're still in our control as well. It is still in our control. We can go to the Etihad, and if we can get the same result, not the same second half performance, because if we do that, City will beat us. But if we can get the same result, boy, oh boy, that'll feel like a win. It will feel like a win, and City will be trying to go hell for leather at that. And then that Newcastle game will be the final one, the final tricky one. So we got West Ham and Southampton before that. And in fact, because of how the games fall, Arsenal could even extend their lead by the time we play City. We've got 2 games to play before Manchester City. We've got West Ham and Southampton. Manchester City only have 1 Premier League game, Leicester at home, which they will win. So that's 3 points. If Arsenal can grab 6 points, we will extend it back to 9, but the City will have 2 games in hand by the time we enter that game on the 26th of April. Draw is what I need. Draw a minimum. Don't need to win. Do not need to win at City. Just need a draw. Easier said than done. Of course, with this City and at the moment and how relentless they're looking, and they're clicking now. Jack Grealish at his level. De Bruyne has entered that final season. That final part of the season where he goes and cooks and shreds everyone apart. Haaland continue to do what he's done throughout all season. Alvarez coming off the bench. Mahrez is cooking. They're really turning up the gears now, Manchester City. And it's going to be hard. It is going to be hard. I've got one side. My heart believes. My heart definitely believes, and I want to keep pushing. And every game I will keep pushing. But my head's telling me City have control of this title race now. It's in their hands. When I say control, not total, but if they do their jobs and they can go on a final stretch and just gain more points and win that game at the Etihad where the crowd will be up. They've been in these situations, those title games before. Arsenal haven't, and this is going to be a real test. And no one really knows how Arsenal are going to do, and how Arsenal are going to manage in that moment. Arsenal fans, we don't really know, but we believe and we're hoping. And football's a crazy game, so we'll have to wait and see, man. Thought Gakpo would score. Yeah, I don't know why Trossard didn't start. I thought it was the right decision not to start Trossard. Have a look at our attack, Red Devil Yannick. Gabriel Jesus was immense. Gabriel Martinelli was immense, and Saka. You're not going to start Trossard over Saka after what Saka's done this season and what how well he's done overall. I didn't think he was amazing. I don't think he was great in this game. He weren't amazing, but that's because everything when we was attacking was going down the left. So yeah, I just didn't like all the substitutions. You got keep Trossard, but keep him with Erdegaard, and then maybe a Jesus as well. Maybe you take Saka off. I know it sounds crazy, but maybe that's what you do because Trossard and Jesus have got a brilliant link up. Big up my brother CM in the building. Blessings to T and the TTF. From what I saw, it was a great game of football with twists and turns. Today was a massive test, and now there is no room for mistakes. Big few weeks ahead of you for you guys. Yeah, very little margin for error now. Very little, which is why I thought if we won this game, we'd have won the league. I said it before. If we win this game, you win the league for me because the confidence that you take from it. I'm hoping that we can still have this and look at the difference between this last season where we had a big away game, last season where we went to Tottenham, we bottled it in terms of our emotions. We couldn't handle it. We couldn't handle Paul Tierney once again. Being the referee, we couldn't handle his dodgy decisions, but we all we needed was a point in that one. And if we can do the same thing at the Etihad, grab a point and win our games before that, it's fully within and then we've got a margin for error. Then we still do have margin for error if we can go there and grab a point. Because what if we let's say we draw at City and then draw another game, but win the rest, we still win the league, guys. Still win the league. So massive. It's going to be huge. We'll have to wait and see. The 3 points and we're winning the title 100%. Big up my brother Moss in the building. Bad subs. Needed Xhaka off, not Captain Erdegaard. Bad omen that sub was. I agree with you. I agree. 4 points against Liverpool. When was the last time we did that? If we win every game, we win. Yeah, exactly. One game at a time. But we've got tough away games to come against better teams than this Liverpool team. Against better teams in the Etihad and Newcastle. I hear where you're going with King, and I like the fact that you're looking at it in a positive standpoint, and you'll have the opportunity to come on and talk to you guys, and so I want to hear your thoughts and everything. But guys, before I do add this on, make sure you smash that like button, people. If we can get this up to 25 likes, people, that's the goal for this. Appreciate you all once again for coming in and showing love. Let me just adjust the title. There we go. So we can fit as many as possible. I'm going to open the lines. I'm going to dash the link in here. I want to hear your thoughts, not just me. I want to be here. I want to hear each and every one of yours. Get in the comments as well. The link is in here. Arsenal fans, Liverpool fans, get in here. But let me just big up each and every one of you in the comments first before I bring on anyone. So get in the link. Erdegaard should be mad he got subbed off. I agree with you there, Amy. I agree. Arteta tried to cook, but he burnt the kitchen down with them subs. It's them subs packs exactly. I didn't like the subs either. I would have subbed on Jorginho for Tierney, and Tierney for Zinni and Xhaka. Jorginho would have been good. You're right. And Martinelli got tired, and I would have subbed on Trossard for him. Good shout. T-Dog in the place. Hi, he hope you're keeping good. Says hi, Ramsdale is brilliant. Indeed. I agree with you. What a goalkeeper. Xhaka 2-2 at Anfield. I'll take that at the start of the season, but feels like we just had at our fingertips. Need to let go and beat those frauds at the Etihad exactly, or draw. That's all we need, man. That's all we need. Should be goalkeeper England's number one. Two guys going forward, and let me just go quickly run through because we got our first. My brother, my co-host on the Arsenal show in here as well. It's been a while, but we need to chop it up. Gutted, Matt G, big up yourself, but we move. I've seen some fans say it's now in City's hands. It's not. We win our games and we win the league. Exactly, it's in our hands just as much as it's in City's. That's what people need to understand. That's what we need to understand. But well, before you know what, big up each and every one of you. Will get through your comments. I'll bring them up on screen. But I've got my brother King in the building, bro. Talk to me, man. Talk to me.
Yo, T, it's been way too long, man. How you doing, bro?
Yeah, I don't know how I'm doing. I've got mixed emotions right now. How are you doing? Talk to me. How are you feeling right now?
I know it's weird, but I'm not too angry, because first of all, I think we can't neglect the fact that the first 30 minutes we battered Liverpool, like we were all over them, and we deserved to be 2-0 up. We could have been up more, but we can't neglect the fact that I think Liverpool they have the second or third best home record in the Premier League this season. So as bad as they've been, it's away from home that they've been awful. I think they had like 6 straight home wins in the Premier League. So they very rarely drop points at home, and they showed today that going forward they are still a big threat. I think it was the back line and that was poor, but they kind of find some spots in the midfield, and they got into the game, and they start finding issues with us. So I think Ben White, for example, he was a bit sloppy with his passing today. It was more than 4 or 5 times where it was just simple passes and he just missed them. And it was the same with Holding. I think our right side today was quite weak in general.
Yeah.
And I was asking for Jorginho to come on, basically for the fact because of he's an experienced player. He's played in Anfield. He played these kind of important games. He's very good on the ball. He's one of our best passers, and we needed someone who could calm down and manage the game, a bit like Liverpool did with Thiago. They brought him on to dictate the game and get the balance onto them. I think we should have done that with Jorginho. And I think especially when he chose to go to a 3-4-3 formation, I was surprised he didn't bring on Tierney earlier, because Zinchenko is not a wing back. It's not what he's good at. And we could see that Gabriel was immense, but Zinchenko didn't have a good game today, especially in the second half.
In the second half, and in the first half, I thought it was impacting it really well, and they couldn't cope with lines. And defensively, I thought he was doing well in some matchups as well, and winning them. And we nicked the ball a few times as well in the second half, but we just couldn't really get to grips with it at all. We tried to, but we couldn't. I think we tried in moments, but we didn't do it enough. I think you need to go down. We needed those soft free kicks that they were getting in the first half. I do think the referee had an impact on that, but you tend to get decisions when you're at home as well, though, don't you, King?
But when you play at home with that crowd, big game, it's always going to be like that. That has always been the case. And I think for me, Mikel, he was more afraid of losing the game than trying to win the game when we were 2-0 up. It was almost like we went 2-0 up too early. So it's like when we were 2-0 up, we changed our game plan because we reached a point where, what do we do now? Kind of stuff. Instead of, should we continue an attack or do we need to be smart? We couldn't find the balance on handling the game.
I hear you. Just before we bring in UV, I will ask you, What's your response to Luke's comment here saying we got outplayed by a poor Liverpool team in that second half? Not good enough. City are huge title favourites now. We were lucky to get a point in the end. Ramsdale made some excellent saves. I think he's right in some elements, but I also think he's wrong. But what do you think, King?
But I think, first of all, as I've said, we need to understand Liverpool at home and Liverpool away. It's two different teams. Like away from home, they've been awful. At home, they've been as good as City and Arsenal. So we can't just say that it was a poor Liverpool team. If this was at the Emirates, I would agree 100%. And also, we've taken 4 points of this Liverpool team, and we are 6 points ahead of City. They still need to, let's not forget, they need to beat us to have a chance to win the league. If City don't win against us, they will struggle to win this league. And I think we showed in the first half that we will continue to dominate games, we will continue to play well, we will continue to break teams down. I think it was more the mental aspect of the game that got caught up to us, where, okay, everything is going wonderful, we're 2-0 up, Liverpool are poor, Anfield is quiet. What do we do now? And you could tell this is where in previous game, we've just continued to go forward. But obviously, when it's Gakpo, when it's Salah, when it's Jota, you have to keep that in your mind as well, especially when we didn't have Saliba. I think we missed Saliba more than anything today, where I don't think Holding was awful, but he wasn't good. And when we wanted to manage the game, he doesn't have the passing ability.
Yeah.
And we lose the security on the ball. And that's a big miss. And we don't have, the problem is Tomiyasu is out. So we don't have anyone else who can really play there and give us something similar to what Saliba has. You know, if Tomiyasu was not injured, Ben White could play centre back and Tomiyasu could play right back. And the drop off in ball possession quality would not be as huge as it is now, in my opinion, anyway.
Definitely agree with you on that in terms of on the ball. Defensively, when they're whipping crosses in, I thought he was excellent, heading them, clearing away. But that's Rob Holding's bread and butter. That's what he loves. And I thought he made a few good, vital interceptions with some deep crosses where he got flicks on, knock it out for a corner, etc. But yeah, man, UV, talk to me, bro. Talk to me about this game. It was definitely more important for Arsenal. It was, but Liverpool. Give me your thoughts on Liverpool and Arsenal, bro. So, what's your thoughts?
It was, but before I get on, what a game by that. That was a brilliant game. Second, that was a very stressful game because the first half it got absolutely destroyed. But I do think it is 2 points dropped. But at the same time, considering how dominated you were in that second half, you should have lost. I think we had the better chance in the second half. We were the better team in that second half. We should have. If only Darwin buried that chance, if Salah scored that pen, there were so many scenarios. If we had just taken our chances, we would have won this game. And look, you were 2-0 up, but Anfield just really won. That's really it. And that's what we did to United. That's what we did to Man City. We've done that to Arsenal now. And I think the decisive moment was we scored before half time. That was a massive moment for us because if we didn't score before half time, I think you would have probably controlled. But it's crucial we scored just before the half time. And now I think if City go on that run we've been talking about, and you face them at there and you lose, they go above you. Now, is it in City's hands? Probably not. But if City do go on the run and beat you at their stadium, at their Etihad, they go top, and this result should be annoying for Arsenal fans because you were 2-0 up in the end. I know it's Anfield, but you were 2-0 up, and you should have really calmed. And you just panicked really in that second half. You should have just calmed. And I feel like Xhaka it was a bit stupid of him to, just talking about just going up to a player and that the passion he showed. But then the Anfield cry just rises up, and then Xhaka basically just unnecessarily fouled a player and stuff, and then he got mad, and that increased the Anfield crowd. So yeah, I think I've seen you guys respond before, so I wouldn't be too concerned as an Arsenal fan because you guys can respond. We've seen it before. You lost to United, you responded well versus Brentford. So I wouldn't be too concerned. But now City have the advantage where they've been waiting for this advantage. And like Ed said, we were lucky not to be 4 goals down in that first 30 minutes. I'll be honest. We were dominating that first half in the first 30 minutes because Arsenal were brilliant, and you really done the job. You quieted the crowd perfectly, and then Xhaka unnecessarily just fouls and goes up to him, and that just annoys. So yeah, good game. I think Arsenal should be really, considering how bad you were that second half. It's a good point, but then you got West Ham next, and that's a tough game to be honest, because West Ham away, West Ham are fighting for their lives, and that could be a tough place. But yeah, I think Arsenal fans shouldn't be too concerned. But it's 2 points dropped in the end. You were 2-0 up, but then again, it's one of those ones where it's 50-50, right? Depends how you look at it, really.
Do you know what I'll say? And you made some really good points there about the second half. Think of how that Man United game was. Man United were the better team in that first half for about the first 30, 35 minutes against you. Difference with us, we scored, we took our chances. And then when you came out in that second half against United, you blitzed them. Their goalkeeper, De Gea, was making errors as well. So many errors at the back defensively. Shots that are going in that shouldn't have went in. Difference is Arsenal was strong, and our goalkeeper is on it. He's currently.
Can I just say, Ramsdale, what saves near the end, man? He saved you guys big time, because Salah almost scored that chance, and look, Ramsdale, that could be a save where it could win you the league. Who knows? That save could really win you the league, and technically it's still in your hands. It's still in your hands, technically it is still, and if you just have to win, and look, if you told any Arsenal fan to draw at Anfield before, they would have taken it. But then again, if you look at the context, you'll be disappointed with it because you were 2-0 up in the end. If you just hold on, didn't concede sloppily, you would have maybe. I think if we didn't score near the end of that half, I think you would have probably won that game, because you would have had the control. But yeah, I think should Tierney have started over Zinchenko today, because I think Zinchenko was getting exposed a bit, and Tierney had more experience in these games. Do you think Tierney should have started over Zinchenko? Because
in first half, for me, and then I'll let King go. In possession, I thought Zinchenko was absolutely amazing in breaking your lines. You guys couldn't handle some of the passes he was playing at points, and defensively, even at points, I don't think he was exposed per se. I think that's how Arsenal set up. Arsenal set up with Gabriel to mark Salah, and he was doing a fantastic job in that first half, and throughout a lot of the second, even when you were the better team, Gabriel was immense. And for me, up until Ramsdale decided to pull us out of the bag, Gabriel was my man of the match for a majority of that game. He was phenomenal. And I thought Zinchenko in the second half, King mentioned it earlier, we're talking about he couldn't get to grips with it. Arsenal couldn't get the ball moving forward. We couldn't break. I was expecting more of that, to be honest, in the second half. I was expecting you guys to be better going forward, but when we do get the ball, get down and counter-attack and exploit you again. I said to my sister, it's not ending 2-1. I said it's not ending 2-1. It's 3-1 or 2-2, the guaranteed, or even 3-2, as it could have been at the end. But yeah, what would you say to that, King? There's a couple of questions I want to ask you. I want to throw them to you, so get ready. 3, yeah. So would you play Tierney over Zinchenko? 2, talk to me about Ramsdale. And 3, Granddaddy Gooner's comment here, Mr. 200, about Odegaard, that substitution, because he's put his opinion. Before I let you go, Odegaard had fallen away for me. He's not at his best when he's on the back foot. Taking him off was probably the option, but I'd have brought on Jorginho and pushed up Partey. So yeah, those 3 things: Zinchenko, Tierney, Ramsdale, and about Odegaard.
Well, I would have definitely started with Zinchenko. I think first half we've shown how important it is for us. For me, is when the game changed and we need to defend more than we attack. That's when you bring Tierney on, because he's comfortable on defending, and when we have the opportunity to counter attack, Tierney is a more explosive player. So I think he could have been an extra weapon, and then that would have made Trent to be more wary and attack us less, because he now needs to focus on Tierney and Martinelli. I think what was the second? Ramsdale. I think Ramsdale is just an underrated goalkeeper. I think he's one of the best goalkeepers in the league. I think he's shown in many games that he's up there with Alisson and Edison. And I think on the ball, we see what he gives us. Off the ball, we see what he gives us. Crucial saves. And he's young. Like, people forget that he's not in his prime age like Alisson and Edison. He's still 4 years, 5 years from his prime. So I'm very happy with Ramsdale. I think he's a fantastic goalkeeper. And I think he has the right balance on being a good shot stopper, but he also got good distribution, where I feel like Edison is a better distributor, but shot stopper is not the best. And I feel like Alisson is the better shot stopper, but his passing, especially short passing, it's not the best with Alisson. He can be a bit clumsy sometimes. But yes, I'm happy with him. I think Odegaard, Odegaard's been he's not been as his best the past 4 games. I agree. The problem that we have is that none of the alternatives in Smith Rowe or Fabio Vieira are in a. You wouldn't be comfortable to back them to start right now. That's the problem.
Yeah,
I do agree that I would have brought in Jorginho, especially in the second half. I would have brought him on.
You can calm the game down. Jorginho can calm
he would
the game
calm the game down, Jorginho.
Yeah.
Definitely. And we needed the game to calm down because we lack Saliba. So Saliba is one of them players where usually he's on the ball, we can play the high line, we can keep possession, we can pass it around. But when you have someone like Holding, if you bring a Jorginho in, he can come and he can form like a double pivot sometimes with Partey where they can keep the ball. And then you can actually bring Tierney on because you don't need Zinchenko as much because now you got Partey, you got Jorginho, you got Xhaka, all of them excellent in possession. I would have done that. And I wouldn't have subbed off Jesus. I think he was having a fantastic game. He was giving Liverpool lots of trouble. He was good at holding up the ball. I think you either bring off Martinelli, he looked a bit tired, or you bring off Saka and you push Jesus to the wing. But when Ramsdale has the possession, Jesus come in central to do the hold up, and Trossard goes on the wing and they interchange. I think I would have done something like that instead of the substitution that Arteta did. But I'm not mad. I'm not panic mode. Let's not forget. I think in our 7-game win run, I think in 4 of them games we scored 4 goals.
Yeah.
And 2 of them we scored 3 goals. And today we scored 2 goals again. So we are in fantastic form. Like, this is not us struggling to win games or struggling to score goals. We just played a very good Liverpool team in the second half, and we got our point. We take the point and we move on. If we play like this, like we did today in the first 30 minutes, we will win majority of our games. So I'm not at a stage where, oh, look at City. No, I look at what we are doing and I'm focusing on what we can do. And I back the team to get us over the line. And you need luck as well. Like, City were lucky against Crystal Palace to win that game. They were lucky. Like, it's part of football. You will not win every game comfortable.
And and the luck, I think, helps you guys because Salah, if he had scored that pen, who knows?
Yeah.
But I think that's a moment of luck which every team has in their title race, and that's your luck because if Salah scored that, I think you would have not. I think we would have won that game because I think at that point it would have been 2-2, and then there's still an extra there's 30 minutes to go, 40 minutes to go.
Do you know what though, UV? I hear you, and I think, because you've seen it plenty of times at Anfield. But I think if it goes 2-2 whilst we've still got Odegaard and Jesus on the pitch, I think it's different. I think that's where, because it went 2-2 when we took Odegaard and Jesus off, you see.
Yeah,
and
we
that's
lost momentum.
the problem. As soon as it was 2-2, when those guys were off the pitch, it was hard for us to go forward and break, and where you need that weight of pass from Martinelli at the end. Because at the end of the day, like, you guys talk about Exactly.
I was so
Way
angry.
past. I know. I thought it was it. I thought that right at the end, but you guys know more
But he
than
was
anyone.
tired, T.
Yeah, he was
He didn't
tired. He
see
was
Saka early. He didn't put his head up early enough
Yeah.
as well.
And
Yeah.
that,
I was like, look up, look up, look up.
I was panicking at them because you lot won the counter attacker. Like we had no defenders, and it was actually a 4v1. All you have to do
Yeah.
is the right pass, but you
Yeah.
chose the wrong one. Like if
I
you
know.
passed to Saka, you would have won the game. Like
Yeah.
it was, you should have
But
made
at
the
the
right.
end of the day, that's why I say it's a fair result. And this is what I'm going to say to you now, Luke. Luke says we was lucky to draw the game in the end. Had Salah scored the penalty, then I think we would have lost the game 5-2 or 6-2. Listen.
No.
Football, right? People forget that there's goalkeepers in football. There's a reason why the goalkeepers and why you praise a goalkeeper when they don't score and you praise a striker when they do. It's not every one-on-one or every shot has to go in the back of the net. Do you know what I mean? I hate it when Arsenal fans do it as well. Do you know? Me and Ed have this conversation all the time. Alisson's a wonderful shot stopper and a wonderful goalkeeper. It's hard to get the ball past him at times. And that's why you praise strikers for putting the ball in the back of the net. While we're here praising Martinelli and while we're here praising Jesus for scoring. And Jesus should have scored before that as well. Do you remember?
Yeah.
We could have went 3-4 in the first half.
You lot should have been more than 2-0 up in the first 30 minutes. Like
do you know what I mean? So the same way we throw it back at them, Luke, look at it in this way and say, they should have scored those chances, yes. But we had chances we should have scored also. So that's why I say 2-2 is a fair result in the end. If you don't take your chances, you don't score. It's unlucky if you're robbed by a referee. That's what I say, real unlucky.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Like Konate shots at the end made me more mad because it was literally all you have to do is just shoot it or something. It would have went in. And I feel like if you had lost that game, it would have been more.
But then at the other end, if he passes the ball right, we win. Do you know what I mean?
It just shows it just shows how good Arsenal have been since the last time we faced you guys. Because last time we dominated you, it just shows how you've improved. So I think if you don't win the league, I wouldn't say it's a failure. So you should be proud, but then it should disappoint because you won no trophies, and it would be one of those seasons. But you should be proud of your boys either way.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the problem is for many fans, especially Arsenal fans, is that they've almost decided that we're not winning the title. City are smashing teams. It means the City's just gonna go on and win every game, and then that's it for us. But they are forgetting, like, we are in this fantastic form where we're scoring 4 goals almost every game. Teams fear us. And we can't neglect the fact that we are still top of the league. We have still managed to have more points than Man City has. And we've done that with injuries as well. So I'm not at a stage where I'm panicking. Let's just take one game at a time. Like, City could still go up and drop points where we don't expect them to do. They've done it lots of times this season. And they almost did it against Crystal Palace again. So as good as they are, they have a lot as well. And they have to go and play Bayern Munich home and away. They have to go to the FA Cup. They're almost in the final there as well.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. They've still got an away game at Brighton.
And that,
an away day at Brighton.
That helps you guys in the Champions League because they have to put their eggs in the basket for the Champions League. But that's where they have the big squad. They can still win without. That's where the squad comes in for City. So I think that it does help you guys, but at the same time, they can smash any team with it. This
question for you. Where do you see your season going now after this resurgence in this game?
I've written our season off. I'm not gonna lie. I think top 4 is done. I think we're too far off. I can see us finishing 6th or something like that. I think 5th or 6th someone could get. But then again, I don't care about the last second of the season. I just want this season done. This game was the only game I cared about. But the rest I just don't care about anymore because what's the point? There's nothing to fight for. And I don't so I don't see any resurgence coming. So I think our season's finished anyways.
Yeah, I hear you. And as his season definitely not over. And King, what I'll ask for you is, before we kind of wrap this up, is what is game now at Man City. We got West Ham and Southampton. I'm confident we'll win those games.
Yeah,
I am. West Ham aren't going to pose that kind of a test. We've got a full week now to rest and recover from it. I think we'll be fine in that sense. Make sure Ben White's back and fit and ready, and let's keep off prayers. All of us praying, all of us right here, for Saliba to be back for that City game. But what do you want to see different? Oh, we've got our brother Brad in here as well. We'll ask him that too. Big up my bro, man. Hope you're keeping good.
Hello, everyone.
So yeah, that City game, man. We're kind of looking ahead to that now, Brad. I know we got 2 games before, but that's the one now. What do you want to see different, King, or the same? Both.
Brad can go first.
Go on, my bro, Brad.
Sure. Yeah. I liked a lot of what I saw today, except for the substitutions. I think he's still got to work on that. But honestly, like if we play like what King was saying, like with how we played the first 30 minutes against City, I think we'll win. But yeah, it's just the subs for me that ruined my game.
Yeah. But the thing is, right, their midfield is much better than our midfield. That's one point. Like our midfield is all for Fabinho, who is finished for some reason. Henderson, who can't, is finished as well. But if you actually look at it, it's a different midfield that you have. De Bruyne, he's too good. Rodri, so good, and Gundogan. So it's different. But I think if you play at that with the confidence, I think you can. If you can, it's just. I think you would take. Would you take a draw? I think a draw is a good result. So just don't lose that one.
Absolutely.
Just don't lose. Just don't lose. I think that's the main. Obviously, you want to win, but if it's a draw, you would take a draw because if City win, then they go above you. If it's a draw, you're still top. So I think a draw is a good one. Just don't lose that game. If you don't lose that game, it's a good result.
What about you, Brad? He's taking a draw at City. And what things would you change? Mainly in the second half.
God, I would take a draw at City so fast. Like if you offered it to me, it's fine. I will gladly take a draw. But as far as changes go, like I don't know, you might want to play Tierney instead of Zinchenko for these games. Like I love Zinchenko a lot, but Tierney I think needs to come on. So say we're winning 2-1 at City, you got to take Zinchenko off at that point, and don't bring on Kivior. Don't do that. That I will never understand that one. That's going to keep me up at night.
Exactly. And as Alicia says here, can we remember that when City beat us to go top, that everyone was saying it's City's titles to lose now, and now we're hearing the same thing. It's true. This is what I'm saying with the pessimism when you're looking at it in that sense. Guys, we can drop points just as much as City can as well. City have dropped points away from home. They've still got away games. Yes, they're relentless. Yes, they've been here before. Yes, the experience will tell you that they can do it. But football's a crazy game. None of us ever thought Arsenal would be in this position. So the fact that we are here now shows you that things can happen that's unexpected. And that's what I'm hoping for. Yes, by me saying that doesn't mean that if we don't win the league, I won't be disappointed. And I'm not going to turn around and say, well, because no one expected us being here, so I'm happy. No, that's not. We will be hurt. We will be. But my reason in saying that is because City can go away to Brighton and drop points. They've got Champions League. That's their focus. That's their main target right now. Their squad isn't as strong as it was last season. Let's be real, because we've got 2 of their players, and one of them is at Chelsea, stinking out the gaff right now. And plus, they have to play Rodri every single game. And we're talking about injuries for Arsenal. If City get them in those areas to a Rodri, that's a big problem. Even a John Stones or a Ake at the moment, there's still so much football to play. So that's why, yes, it hurts and you can feel like that in the moment. But have a look at the whole picture. We take it game by game. King, you said it in a comment earlier, didn't you, bro? About let's just still take it one game at a time, move on. When that City game, it is pressure now. I wanted that City game to be pressureless, so with no pressure entering it. So if we do lose, it's still kind of in our hands. But I've seen a growth and a response in how we handle big occasions from 12 months ago. Look what happened away to Spurs 12 months ago compared to now. You know what I mean? If we'd have drew at Spurs, we'd be top 4 right now. We'd have been in the Champions League this season. So think in these big pressure games, Arsenal can still got something about them. We can score. We can take our big chances. Do you know what I mean? We've been clinical in them scenarios. And yeah, what's your final thoughts, Mandem, before I wrap it up? Oh, King's dipped off. I'm literally about to move to him next. But Brad, yeah, I know you've come in for shortly, my bro. It's great seeing you. It's been a while since we have. But yeah, man, what's your final thoughts on this game and the rest of our season from here?
So, I kind of want your opinion on this. I think if we had Saliba starting, I think we would have won that game. So I think we need to take that into account when we play City. Hopefully Saliba's back. I love Holding, and this is not me saying that Holding cost us the game. It's the fact that if we could have had Holding come on instead of Kivior at that point to switch to a back 5, I think we would have won the game. That's my thoughts. But yeah, just we need Saliba back desperately. Other than that, Xhaka kind of doing Xhaka things kind of pissed me off, but I don't know. I'll take the draw. It hurts, but we'll take it. I mean, City and United both lost at Anfield this season, and we didn't. So
it could prove pivotal at the end. What about you, King? This game, final thoughts, and the rest of the running ahead.
Listen, we haven't won at Anfield since 2012. Yeah, there's a reason for that, and I think Van Dijk has lost one game at Anfield ever since it's been there. So it is one of the hardest ground in the world to win a football game at. And we managed to play fantastic football for 30, 40 minutes. And for a long spell of the game, we were winning as well. As much pressure there was on us, we were on lead for the majority of the game. So I'm taking that with us. I'm taking the fact that we scored 2 and we could have scored more. And I'm taking the fact that Arteta is a fast learner and he's going to learn from his mistakes and from his subs, and he's going to do it better. Because one area that I do think he's improved this season is that he's made much better substitutions since the Man United games, and a lot of his substitutions has won us games or won us points, and they've come in and scored goals. So we are top
Man
of
United.
Yeah, Man United. Excellent. Yeah, Bournemouth game again. We've seen it so many times where Trossard comes in and he scores, or Nelson comes in and he scores or provides assists, or Eddie Nketiah. He's gonna learn. He's gonna look at his game and he's gonna look at his mistakes and he's gonna analyze it and he's gonna make sure that we are as prepared as we need to be against City. And again, they need to win. A draw is not good enough for City. They need to beat us. And the game starts at 0-0. So huge advantage still for Arsenal. Let's not drop our heads. I mean, these players have shown for the majority of the season. We are 30 games in now, and we're still top of the league. It's not fluke.
Exactly that. And yeah, Arteta hasn't. I think he has, but he's made mistakes. But Pep Guardiola makes mistakes in games with his substitutions. I think substitutions is the hardest thing to really nail. And and I agree with you. And I've criticised, and so was King, and so was Brad. We've all of us here have criticised him for his substitutions today. But overall, we don't give enough praise for when he has made the right subs. None of us would have brought Nelson on against Bournemouth. None of us. I can guarantee you that. None of us would have brought on Nelson against Forest. And these are games, or none of us would have brought on, even Martinelli and that Vieira substitution at Aston Villa. Yeah. Those things there. There's been big moments where it's easier to remember the times where you got it wrong, because those are the ones that will stick, and it's easier when, especially, you don't have the league wrapped up yet. Bro, Luke, I'll tell you, man. I know it's hard right now, but bro. Keep the faith. Keep the faith, bro. Keep supporting these boys. They're the reason why we're falling back in love with this club again. Each and every one of them. Arteta, Edu, the whole coaching staff behind him who contribute to these substitutions. Martinelli, they've got us believing again. And don't doubt them, because they were doubted up until this stage, and look at where we still are, top of the league. Come on. And yeah, and none of us would have brought Kivior on. Yeah, that was GC. Yeah, that was crazy. But big up each and every one of you either way, man. I mean, I'd have brought Nelson on, but I got a big brain. Hey, you'd have brought him on your FPL team on accident, Ed. That's what you would have. He had an FPL malfunction yesterday, King, where he captained Douglas Luiz. So yeah.
Oh my God. Why would you even have him in your team?
I was thinking exactly that. Why, let alone captaining him? But yeah, big off Ed, man. I'm sorry.
Bless you, Ed.
I'm hurt now. I'm sorry. I had to have a little dig, but big up my brothers right here, King and Brad. We're definitely gonna have to get you on again soon, guys. Really appreciate you, and we'll have to have a big show where we're just dedicated talking, because I always love chatting to you guys, and as well as everyone else in the comments. Moss, even you, Luke. I love it. I love the fact that we have a difference of opinion and we look at things different, because it brings debate, and there's some things that I do agree with you on as well. So I love it, man, and we'll definitely have to get talking again, guys. Really appreciate you all. But yeah, King, my brother, thank you, man. Let the people know where they can find you.
Always a pleasure, man. You can find me here on Three Talks, and you can find me on my channel, King's Football Show.
Yeah, exactly. Go check him out. My bro, Brad, long time, man. Let the people know where they can find you.
At the moment, nowhere. University is kicking my ass. I'm struggling, but I was happy that I could at least carve out a couple minutes today. But yeah, nowhere.
I understand that, man. You'll be on here again soon. I will get chatting after this, Brad, man. I have missed you. Big up Matt G in the place as well, saying big up Brad and King. Big up to each and every one of you. Love to you all, Matt G. Well, guys, I feel different now after speaking to my brothers. I do. I feel it's still in our hands. I've still got the fight in me. We're still in control of this, lads and ladies and gents. We are. So let's do it. Let's do it, people. We'll be back again tomorrow for the Arsenal show, breaking it down. We'll talk about the tactical points. We'll also have Aled on from a Liverpool side. He was on the previous one when we had it. And yeah, man, and let's get it cracking. And if my brothers are here free, I'll speak to them afterwards. You may see them here as well. But yeah, people, love and blessings to you all. We are out. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and peace.